The 70-year-old charged with first-degree murder in a fatal incident of a teen in Frisco track meet earlier this month has had his bond reduced and will now be on house arrest following the judge's ruling on Monday. A Collin County judge agreed to lower Carmelo Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250,000. Anthony will also be required to wear an ankle monitor and stay inside his parents' home if they could post bond. Anthony has been in Collin County Jail since his April 2nd arrest for allegedly taking the life of 17-year-old Austin McCaff of Frisco ISD track meet. According to witnesses, Anthony and McCaff were involved in a verbal dispute, and at one point, Anthony pulled out a knife and stabbed McCaff in the chest once. Anthony complied with officers at the scene and was taken into custody. While in police vehicle, Anthony reportedly asked the officers if McCaff was going to be okay and if what he did would be considered self-defense. Since the arrest, Anthony's family hired defense attorney Billy Clark and Kim Cole, who promptly requested that Anthony's bond be reduced. During a hearing on Monday, Anthony's defense attorney questioned the teen's father about his character. His father testified and stated that Anthony is an A student, the captain of both the football and the track teams. Anthony's father also told the courts that he's the sole provider of their family and couldn't afford the $1 million bond. Prosecutors who only submitted the police report and no witnesses also questioned Anthony's father during the hearing. They asked about a separate assault involving Anthony on February 4th, which was handled internally by Frisco ISD. Prosecutors also questioned why Anthony's family hadn't used the money donated through a fundraising account for his son's bond. They replied, quote, "We don't have access to that money." Defense attorneys argued that the $412,000 raised online in that account is not a bond fund and that the family needs it to get by since Anthony's father is currently on leave from work. During closing arguments, defense attorneys told the judge maintaining the $1 million bond would be unusual considering Anthony's lack of criminal history. They asked that the judge to reduce the bond to $150,000 for Anthony to require him to wear an ankle monitor. Prosecutors asked that the $1 million bond remain in place, telling the judge that the amount is standard for a murder case in Collin County. The judge ultimately ruled that the bond be lowered to $250K, and if Anthony's family were to bond him out of jail, Anthony will be required to stay in his parents' home and wear an ankle monitor. The judge also stated that if Anthony violates that rule, he would be returning back to jail. Quick, right? Because this is the thing that I'm seeing directly online, the White Lives Matter, da da da. And the funniest thing is, no, you don't hear anybody talking about Black Lives Matter or anything like that. You haven't heard that in a very long time online, but for whatever reason, you still have white people out there still saying White Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, right? And all of that came directly from because Black Lives Matter existed, right? So let's go over this. George Zimmerman, the neighborhood watch volunteer involved in the 2012 shooting of Trayvon Martin, raised significant funds for his legal defense and living expenses through online donations. Initial reports from April of 2012 indicate that approximately $204,000 had been collected via a website created for this purpose. By November 2012, the total amount raised was estimated to be around $340,000. These funds were used to cover legal fees, security costs, and other expenses associated with his defense. Next, we have Darren Wilson. Darren Wilson, the Ferguson, Missouri police officer involved in the 2014 shooting of Michael Brown, received substantial financial support through online fundraising efforts. Initial campaigns on GoFundMe quickly amassed significant amounts. One campaign raised over $202,000 and nearly 5,000 donors shortly after its creation on August 17th of 2014. Combined, these online efforts collected nearly 400,000 within a short period of time. Additionally, a charity named Shield of Hope was involved in funding for Wilson, collecting more than 400,000. However, the organization declined to disclose detailed information about the total funds raised or their allocations. While exact figures are not fully transparent, estimates suggest that the combined fundraising efforts for Darren Wilson exceeded $500,000. Last but not least, Dane Penny. Dane Penny, a former United States Marine, was involved in the fatal incident on May 1st of 2023, where he placed Jordan Neely in a chokehold on a New York subway city train, leading to Neely's death. Following this event, Penny faced charges of second-degree manslaughter and criminal negligent homicide. To support his legal defense, a crowdfunding campaign was launched on the platform Give, Send, Go. As of June 14th of 2023, the fundraiser had amassed over 2.8 million. By August 8th, 2023, the total has surpassed 2.9 million. The campaign attracted more than 59,000 donors, including notable contributors from public figures such as Vivek Ramaswamy, and received endorsements from politicians like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Representative Matt Gaetz. The funds were designed to cover Penny's legal expenses and any related civil lawsuits. In December of 2024, Penny was acquitted of the charges related to Neely's death. So, for the white folks out there, knowing that these are your actions, these are your people, this is who you decided to raise money directly for, I'm a little bit confused on how it is that you guys are mad, number one, that people, not just black people, raise money for this young man, Carmelo Anthony. Number two, you have people that view him as being innocent because he defended himself from somebody who was well over in between 225 to 245 pounds. On top of the fact he has a brother that is close to the exact same weight, knowing the fact that Carmelo Anthony is about 130 pounds. I've been at 130 pounds. That's not a lot of weight. I can sit up there and tell you that off the bat. And then on top of that, again, the money was raised. But looking at just these three individuals, now again, I could have listed way more people, but just looking at these three individuals and knowing in recent times that white people decided to raise money for these people, they were cheering for these people, they were making memes of these people, calling them heroes, American heroes, you were calling them patriots, you said that they made a hard decision and they did what needed to be done for the sake of America. They were wiping the streets clean of crime and criminals and thugs and gang members. Y'all wanted to say all of this. But when it deals in time, and then on top of that, y'all wanted to also try to tell black people that you gotta look into your heart for forgiveness. When things like this happen that you don't understand, you gotta look into your heart for forgiveness. So white people, I say the same exact thing to you. You already got the father, right, of McCaff. He sat up there and said that he forgives Anthony. So within that, you should already have forgiveness in your hearts because that's not your child. If the father can come out here and say that he forgives what took place and he's praying for everybody that's involved, I don't understand why it is that you can't find sympathy and empathy within that. The same sympathy and empathy that you've always told black people to give forth whenever it is that you guys do something to us. That's some crazy work. That's 100% crazy work. That makes me believe that you don't believe the words in which you speak, and also you more than likely don't believe in God at all. Because when it's time for you to actually forgive, you're like, ah, no, I ain't doing that. But when other people don't want to forgive, you want to try to force the hand to use religion to have people, what would Jesus do? It's within the Bible. We're not supposed to hold this weight, hold these emotions, da da da. Y'all want to bring up all of these scriptures. You want to be the most religious people when it deals with how it is that black people feel and trying to pacify them. When I go online and I happen to see a lot of the comments that you guys are leaving when it deals with this story, it is very much disgusting and racist. You got a lot of people up here trying to threaten the life of this young man. Again, he didn't do nothing to none of y'all directly out here, but you want to threaten the life of a child. Mind you, he's in high school. Number two, you got people up here that want to go back in history and they're like, this is why X, Y, and Z used to happen to you blacks back in the day. That's some crazy work. And like I said before, it further shows, and I promise you, a lot of those people that speaking, they are Trump supporters. They are heavy conservatives, but also while being both of those things, they're also Christians as well. Supposedly God-fearing people. When I happen to peer and look directly onto your pages, you guys always like to say the Bible, God for first, my Lord and Savior, all this other type of stuff, and then you'll see true patriot, conservative, Republican, go MAGA 2024, 2028, all of these things. And I'm like, but you guys are the main people that like to say that you don't see race, that race doesn't matter. It's amazing how quickly you guys noticed and saw race when it dealt with this story. But when I just so happen on my platform bring up stories where you got young white kids that are losing their lives, y'all don't got nothing to say, just like the pictures that you can see directly in front of you. These are stories where these teens inevitably lost their life. But again, y'all not publicizing. Y'all not trying to polarize these stories. Y'all not running them through Fox News and MSNBC or anything like that. You just let these stories stay exactly where you want them to be, which is swept under the rug because it has nothing to do with black people. And also, on top of that, one of these stories, one of the fathers did the same thing that McCaff's father did. He forgave the killer. But y'all weren't trying to masquerade and demonize him. Y'all weren't trying to say that, oh, he's not a real father. He's not this. Oh, that's right, because it had nothing to do with quote unquote race, right? Everybody pretty much looks similar, pretty much looks the same. So there was no type of anger. You're not going to get angry at yourself. You're just going to call it, poor choice. You're going to say that it's just a bad situation. Where was God in all of this? Somebody made wrong decisions. What's happening to our kids, right? Y'all want to give all of these excuses. Y'all don't want to try to dig deep. Y'all don't really want to try to figure anything out. But when it deals with a story where you got two students and this is taking place, now magically color is at play. Now I see a lot of you guys online trying to say that this was a racist act and this has to do with America and black people being anti-white and this, that, and the third. It's the craziest thing. Y'all want to always say that somebody is after y'all. Y'all always try to tell black people, stop portraying yourself as a victim. Stop living in the past. When every single time I go online and I see y'all hashtag all lives matter, blue lives matter, white lives matter, I see y'all playing the victim card. And I keep trying to figure out which one is it? Are you a victim or are you the masters of the universe? Because you guys have positioned yourselves and told everybody that that was your title. You made the world what it is. You modernized societies, right? You invented pretty much everything on this planet. You gave everybody intelligence, wisdom, and all this other type of stuff, right? Nobody else contributed. You built America directly from the ground up, just nothing but white hands and feet. Y'all dug into the ground and you formulated everything that we got here, right? You guys also basically told us that you are both God and Jesus as well, because both of those got white faces. But now you went from being these gods and being the masters of the universe to now trying to portray yourself as victims. How does that work? Especially, you want to paint yourself as victims for circumstances that you created. Because everything is now catching up with you guys. Now y'all want to be angry, mad, and frustrated that people can start to see and understand what history actually is and how it is that you're trying to transform and twist it so that the narrative is positive for you and people not falling for it. So now you want to count that as being anti-white. Some crazy work. But like I said, only y'all can do that. Only y'all got the psychological, type of voodoo, as some people want to say, because they want to consider, voodoo evil and whatnot. Y'all got that type of energy, mystical, magical, mythical energy in order to twist words like that to formulate it in such a manner that people would actually believe it and think that is fact. It's crazy. But only you could do it. And only when you do it, it's believable. Because let somebody black try to do this exact same thing. Ain't nobody believing it. Ain't nobody buying that book. Ain't nobody reading that article. Ain't nobody doing nothing. But only y'all could do this. Y'all could do it for a very long time because this is a game that y'all like to play. But like I said before, if somebody just so happens to tell you multiple times to leave them alone, you need to do exactly just that. Leave them alone. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned the next video.